Subscribe to Film Companion for your film fix. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.
I've had producers and well-wishers, like producers who are being nice to me and are watching out for me, say to me that, Swara, you're just getting the sort of reputation of being a troublemaker. You're getting you have a nuisance value. I now sometimes feel like I'm watching an amusement as people are getting trolled and all. I'm like, welcome to my life. Hi there. Anya.
Hey Swara, welcome to Spill the Tea on Film Companion. That's my show here.
Hi.
Listen, I have seen you literally in action in every sense of the word in the flesh trailer. This is unexplored territory more or less for you, right?
Absolutely. It is absolutely unexplored territory for me. I have never played a cop in my career. I've never done this kind of action, and I had never held a gun in my life, which I just have to say, very honestly, I completely failed at. And I think that I have a newfound respect for the concept of ahimsa, having had to deal with guns. Just want to say I'm a pacifist.
Listen, I have actually held a gun for to kind of give the audience a peek into what it's like to hold a gun. And when I fired, I did not expect for it to ring in my ears that way.
I have my first reaction to the gunshot on record, and I posted it the other day. The first day when they asked me to shoot, they were like, blank cartridge, and you're like, "Arey, theek hai. And of course, you don't know what the hell a blank cartridge actually is, and you don't know that the sound is the cartridge is blank, but the sound is there, and it's real. And when I shot it, there was like a tinnitus or whatever that's called, whatever that is. I had that in my ear, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna shoot this. So in the sequences where we actually had to shoot guns, oh my god, I was like, we were like taking cotton and rolling it in foundation, and then like stuffing cotton in my ear, and then like it was like the saga. The gun was a saga, and Danish was just like, so Danish, the director, and I, we basically named my alter ego, my action alter ego, Fatto Apa, because they were like, ye to Fatto Apa hai. जब स्वरा जी एक्शन करती हैं तो ये एक्चुअली फत्तो आप एक्शन कर रही होती हैं. So it was a saga.
Wow, the things you got to do. The other thing I read is that you actually trained in how to run well on screen. What does that even mean?
So basically, there were a whole bunch of chase sequences in the show. In fact, the majority of my shoot, I was only running. And I think now they have taken a lot of it out, which I'm very pissed about, because I'm like, if you had to edit it out, why the hell was I spending days running? But so we basically had all these chase sequences, and I remember the first time that we shot a chase sequence, Danish looked at the monitor and he was like, you run like a girl. And I was like, yeah, I am a girl. And he was like, you're a cop. And then I was like, okay. So he was like, yeah, I mean, like, this is like very, kind of like, meh. So then I was like, all right, let's do something about this. So I actually trained. I found a friend of mine who's a trainer, yoga trainer, Abhishek Sharma. He's also a national level boxer and has been an athlete. And he taught me to run. So literally, like, where the weight should land, whether it should land on your heel or your toes, and that actually changes your whole form. How much your hands should move. And I mean, for me, the big thing was that my weight was landing at the wrong place. So I was looking very flopsy. So my running has steadily improved, I hope, because I've not seen the Ready show. But I assume that my running has improved from the day one to the last day. But let's see how that. I shouldn't be telling people all this, because then they're just going to be watching for this.
No, but it also lets us know how much work goes into cultivating swag.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, that I have a newfound respect for cops. I mean, with the running and the guns and
when you're wearing a cop's uniform, I know that there's automatically a sense of responsibility attached to it. Were you conscious of what you need to do or not do because you owe it to the uniform?
So, honestly, actually, I mean, firstly, of course, I think that there is a certain inherent appeal about the uniform. There is a certain, and my dad is actually a uniformed man, like he's retired from the Navy. So I've had that fascination with the uniform from childhood, watching my father, at work. I actually think that there's nothing as sexy and amazing as a uniformed person who who's loyal and has integrity to their uniform. I think there's really nothing more heroic and amazing than that. So of course there was that whole aspect in donning the khaki vardi, but actually, and this I think I also didn't know this, that cops don't necessarily spend a lot of time in uniform, especially cops when they're on a case, when they're chasing a case. My character is belongs to the anti-human trafficking unit. So there is a certain protocol about which days you have to be in uniform and which days you don't need to be in uniform, and so on. So we were actually quite, we really did stick to that. Like we had found out from the police and the person from that rank in that department, what days would you be in uniform, what days would you not be in uniform. So we tried to stick as much as possible to that. So I did spend some time in uniform, but I also spent a lot of time just in. But this is really not a show about clothes and all, which is great, because after the V-Day wedding, I was like, like I don't stress about costumes. There was like 2 pair of trousers, 3 pairs of t-shirts, and just like this one ponytail look. And I was like, I am loving this.
It's a badass look, I must say. It's a
I'm just loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How were you able to muster up whatever it takes to swear so effortlessly? I mean, where did that frustration that's so evident in your body language come from?
Life. I just Delhi girl, life.
दिमाग का भोसड़ा हो जाता है.
I've always, I mean, we've seen cops more like as students during protests when we were in college, or now as activists, though I use that term with many disclaimers. And I never really, you always think of a trigger happy cop as just an abuse of power. But actually, I don't think I had ever really spent any time thinking about their own frustrations as human beings who are working also just part of a system that they didn't make the rules of. That was very interesting for me. So, and as far as the swearing goes, honestly, Sneha, I'm like, I don't understand why people, I mean, I'm not saying you're doing it, but because this has come to me as a criticism in past roles, like even in Be Ready Wedding, when people are like, oh, liberation is not about swearing and cussing. And I'm just like, who said anything about liberation? I mean, swearing is about frustration, and don't female characters in stories feel frustrated? I think the problem also has been that for 100 years, we never allowed our female protagonists to say the max. They were like, oh, donkey, monkey, stupid, shut up. I mean, who says women don't swear? I remember my nani, when she was angry, she had some choice words in her vocabulary when she got upset at the mali or at the chokidar or like at whatever. So I think that this is also a bit of a mythology of the female protagonist being virtuous. It's really all part of that for me, yeah.
Coming more from the fact that you owned those dialogues. It didn't seem like you were saying it because you needed to.
No, yeah. I'm a bit of a potty mouth, actually. So this is a problem. I'm actually trying in my real life. I'm trying to. I've been reading Victorian fiction to sort of better my vocabulary. Because I was like, I'm using, for adjectives, I use swear words.
Ouch.
So this is the problem.
Guilty as charged, and now I have a 2-year-old, so I really need to watch my tongue.
Exactly, there, see? So, yeah, if I ever have children, they're gonna be like using bad words, and I'm like, kisne bola? I'm like, mommy.
No, speaking of being an activist with disclaimers, I want to know from you, you've never really shied away from speaking truth to power, but are there repercussions to doing that in our industry? Have you seen those?
I think there are repercussions to doing that in our society. I wouldn't single out the industry, and I think that we're seeing that now on a daily basis. And of course, there are repercussions to it. For the longest time, I was in denial of it. For the longest time, I didn't want to accept it. But I think that there are, and I don't have any complaints about it, because I also understand where people come from. I've had producers and well-wishers, like producers who are being nice to me and are watching out for me. say to me that, Swara, you're just getting the sort of reputation of being a troublemaker. You're getting you have a nuisance value. Those were the words they used. And a lot of people have told me of incidents where they suggested my name to a studio, and the studio backed off saying, no, she's too much controversy, too much trouble, and so on. So of course there is, but that's all right, because I think that one, that I've never not had work, touch wood. And I think that the industry is also changing very rapidly. So actually, I think that a lot of people who may have been scared of trouble are today, between the CA, NRC, and the nepotism debate and the insider-outsider hatred, find themselves in trouble. I mean, when I think that I now sometimes feel like I'm watching in amusement as people are getting trolled and all. I'm like, welcome to my life. Hi there. Anya. I think that when you the thing is, Sneha, I don't say things because I'm a paid influencer, or because somebody gave me money for it, or because just for the fuck of it. I'm saying things because I believe in them. And when you believe in something, you're willing to pay the price, you're willing to stand up for it, you're willing to fight for it. And I just want to say that, this is, Bollywood gets a lot of flack for being silent and for being not taking a position. There are a lot of us talking. And there are a lot of us speaking out, especially after the CA and RC protests. I think that perhaps we should be given a little more credit.
Absolutely, but you have reached a position where you can even share a meme that trolls you and take it in that spirit. How did you get here? It's not easy to build this level of thick skin, right?
I mean, what do you do when you have no? It's like necessity is the mother of invention. I mean, it's just what else do you do? Like, there's no way to control this. A lot of it is sponsored, a lot of it is organized. And I mean, beyond a point, what can you do but laugh about the ridiculousness of it? And of course, humor is a self-defense, sarcasm is a self-defense. And yeah, of course, and I use that as well. But it's funny, yeah. I mean, it's also funny. Some of them are genuinely funny.
Then that's okay. At least be you're trolling.
Yeah, I'm like, be creative, guys. Ho gaya abhi ungli, yaar. 2 saal ho gaya. Find something new.
But Swara, do you have sounding boards? Like, how do your parents deal with this? It must be different for them to, click on a comment section when their daughter's involved.
Yeah, they get very, I mean, I've actually instructed my parents, they're not supposed to open the comment section, but they don't listen to me, obviously. And they're constantly reading comments. I mean, I actually remember my mother, the first time she actually went through, she opened an Instagram account, okay? She's not on Twitter. And then she opened an Instagram account to follow me. Then she started reading all the comments. The first time she read the comments, she started crying. Like, she was so upset. And I told her, but why are you reading the comments? I was like, don't do that, Mom. And then she was like, but why are they saying this? You're not like this. And I'm like, Mom, that is not the point. Do you understand? They are not, I mean, this is just, of course, they don't know anything about who I am or what I am. They're just saying it to, but then poor thing, she started getting trolled as well. My dad started getting trolled as well. So now the whole family, it's a family enterprise, jailoing this trolling. And poor things, I think they're also learning to develop a thick skin, because really, what do you do? I told them I'd block them if they read comments. That scared them for a while, but then they started doing it on their own, and now they're figuring out how to do it. Like, they've learned how to, now they don't need me to teach them. So they're getting better at the stalking, at the Insta and the Facebook, whatever, Twitter stalk. My dad has a Google alert on me. Some days I wake up in Bombay and there's a message from him saying, this has happened in India, please don't tweet. So it's the whole saga. We have a WhatsApp group called Swara Social Media Rant Filter, which has my brother, my father, me, and a friend of mine who's a journalist and is like my advisor, and it has my lawyer. So some of my tweets have to be like, I have to be like, can I tweet this? And they'll be like, no, you can't. And then they'll change it sometimes and be like, tweet this. It's a serious thing. It's a whole enterprise. It's a saga.
Unbelievable. And speaking of being with the family, you're now living on campus in Delhi. What have you been up to that you feel in some way can just creatively help to the acting journey? Because now this seems to be like our life for the rest of the year, I predict.
I mean, firstly, I don't know who kind of, I mean, I don't know really who gave birth to this year, frankly, like what was going on when this year was conceived of. Uh, I'm very privileged and lucky to be. I've actually had a really fun lockdown, weirdly. I was in Bombay for the first 2 months, and I got a pet. I rescued it. He just came inside and then went out. I adopted a rescue pup. So for the first 2 months, I got to bond with him and spend a lot of quality time with my pet. And then I drove from Bombay to Delhi, and I've been with my parents. It's lovely because I haven't been in Delhi for all this while for so long in the last 10 years. Literally, since I moved to Bombay, I've not spent so much time in Delhi. So I'm loving it. I've had a really productive. So when I was here, the first thing I got involved in was some relief work with migrants that already some NGOs and friends were doing in Delhi. So I did that. Then Raspberry release. So we were doing promotions for that. Then there was all these controversies. Controversies keep me occupied. Then there was. Then I was writing
Don't
some stuff.
That's my headline. You don't blame me if that's my headline.
Uh, um, and then I've been writing. So I've been working on some scripts that I've been trying to, that I've been like struggling with for more than a year. I now have the time to actually sit and look at them. I've written a chapter, a forward for a book, and I'm now promoting Flesh, and I have another release. So I've actually I'm going to have 3 releases during the lockdown, and I'm feeling very blessed and pleased about that. Hey, he's here. Say hi, Goro. Come and say hi to me. Why are you wet? One second, I want to show you my baby. Say hi. Gori.
Oh my God.
There you are. You're
Oh
not
my
supposed to get on the
God.
bed, but all right. There's my Goro. Hi, Goro. Gori, hi. Hello. Oh, all right then.
We all did the journey together.
We came together. We came together. So yeah, I brought 5 pets. I brought 1 dog and 4 cats. Because then
Are
where
you
would I
serious?
keep them? Yeah. It was everything in my life is an enterprise and a saga. There's never a dull moment, Sneha.
And finally, it's also been really the first time that I remember that Bollywood has been so much in the news. So I just want to get your thoughts in, without really getting into the details of nepotism and all of that. Do you sense that all this toxicity could possibly mean that the tide could be changing, or am I just being really optimistic?
But changing for, as in what is going to happen is my question.
Could it mean that it just makes Bollywood a more equitable playing field?
I think the Bollywood already was becoming a more equitable playing field. And I think that the success of Kangana, of Ayushman, of Sushant, who, let us remember, was a success story. He was not a failure or a struggler as is now trying to be made out to be. Of Rajkumar, people like me, or Radhika, Richa, Irfan sir, Nawaz sir. I think that all of us are a testament to the fact that Bollywood has changed. Or Anurag, Anubhav Sinha, Anand Rai, like all these people. So I think that actually what we don't recognize is that the change is already happening. It was not happening in a noisy manner, perhaps. It was happening without the name calling, without the necessary identification. And I mean, I think that choose whatever rocks your boat, really. If you enjoy the name calling and the identification and all, sure. Otherwise, you can also just recognize that change is happening, and it's not happening because of any one person. It's happening because structures are changing. It's happening because technologies are changing. It's happening because distribution networks are changing. It's happening for all those reasons as well. I mean, I think that I think we still fully don't know and appreciate or realize how the OTT is going to actually change the star system.
Yeah.
I mean, could you think of an actress like me who is so political, being in Bollywood even 10 years ago, 20 years ago? I don't know. And I'm here, I'm surviving, I'm working. And I think that says something.
Absolutely. And on that optimistic note, we can't wait to see you in flesh. Thank you for keeping the releases going. It's making our lockdown so much more bearable.
Thank you. And it's always a pleasure. Please watch it. I hope you like it. And now that I've told you all my secrets about the action, don't judge me for it.
Can't wait to see it. Thanks, Swara.
Thanks, Sneha. Hi, this is Swara Bhasker. If you enjoyed listening to that conversation as much as we enjoyed having it, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to troll me, don't do that here. Come to my Twitter handle for that.